So someone or something is trying to project a specific like fear onto you because they are aware that that is the only thing that would hold you back from like this next chapter of your life in some way. So, say for example, you have like finally made a decision to move, and it could be written in your Akashic records literally that like when you move to this location, your whole life is going to upgrade and like you're going to heal and some stuff like that, and that energy can be felt. So it's sort of like as a last ditch effort to still be able to like energetically harvest off of you and like drain you in some way. They're trying to coerce you into sabotaging yourself by instilling you with some sort of fear. So that could look like, uh, you know, and this could be energetically too. It could be spiritual to where you start to see more. You just happen to see or notice more accidents, or they pop up on your FYP or on social media, or like literal people in your life trying to like say negative things about like, oh, it's so dangerous doing this, or like, oh, flying is so like this. But it's things that are meant to deter you or make you feel like there is like an obstacle in the way that doesn't exist. Because for this collective, like, we are all spiritually protected to where we are protected from accidents and like final destination as like circumstances happening. So like you are safe. um okay, this could also look like um someone or something trying to make you afraid to open up your heart to love again. Um, it's sort of like this mental trap of someone wanting you to fear the person that you're meant to be with for some reason, or like someone projecting doubt so that you like are afraid of, or I don't know, even like are jealous of, or feel like you can't trust somebody who is genuinely trustworthy. It could even be like an ex saying stuff like, "Oh, how do you know this person is all like this and this?" And like, "Oh, wait until they actually see the real you, and then they're gonna like switch up on you or whatever." Or like, "Oh, I don't know how you manipulated that person into like actually thinking that you were blah blah blah." But it's just, or like if you are somebody who like posts content or you create some form of art, it's just something to like, um again, like someone or something trying to make you feel like it will not be received well, or you could experience some like bullying or whatever, that's meant to be a distraction or whatever, or to like stop you, but you're meant to just like ignore that and keep doing it anyway, especially if you know that it's meant for you. Okay, and everybody, like, if something is meant for you versus if it's like an egoic desire, hopefully. But I'm basically getting that, yeah, it's sort of like attempts at interfering you so that you feel afraid of progressing in the direction that is literally your wish fulfillment. Okay? And so you really just need to ignore like the external projections of like doubt and fear. Don't be afraid to travel. Don't be afraid to meet new people. Don't be afraid to like give new people a chance. Um, you know, not all men are evil. Not all women are evil. You know what I mean? Like, some people can actually be good friends to you. Some people will actually put in the work to like earn your trust. Some people are actually not lying to you. It's just sort of like this sense of like someone or something wanting you to have the mindset that you like cannot trust anybody or anything, and that you have to like go through your life alone. um or that like it's like you will never have support, or like that it's unrealistic to hope for true love, or unrealistic to hope that your dreams can come true, or unrealistic to hope that someday your work will be appreciated. Like, that's an illusion. They're lying to you, and their biggest hope is that you will actually believe those lies so that you live a miserable and unfulfilling life just like them. Okay, so please, that's why it's important to not overshare, or like even like share your like plans or like small successes to people, because even like I don't know, this is like hard to say, but you could like be an energy reader and not be consciously aware of it, or even be like somewhat telepathic and not be aware of it, and like you could even pick up on people sort of like in their mind, say you tell them some good news and then they're immediately like, that's never going to work out. That's not going to work out for them, blah, blah, blah. And they keep repeating that in their mind. And then you start to hear that and you're like, oh, are these my thoughts? And then you start to think, oh, this isn't going to work out. And like in a less like overt way, this could literally be, you showing like people trying to like break you down in little ways, like you opening up and showing someone like your favorite album of all time, and then they're like, oh yeah, I guess it's okay. People trying to like break down your confidence and your like tastes and opinions and stuff like that, which at the end of the day, why, like, their opinion is, it doesn't mean shit anyway. Like, but so I guess this is just a sign that like things are on track towards your emotional fulfillment and your like happily ever after. And so there are little things that are kind of like maybe popping up as like, um so say you want to move to a certain location, right? And you're like, oh, everything could work out, and then you start having fears of like, oh, well, if I move there, are people actually going to accept me? Will I be harassed there? You know, etc., etc. But it's still your dream to go to that place. Like, stop, just break out of that mindset. Just break out of that mindset. Keep telling it, like, repeat yourself, like, no, I will be accepted. People will adore me there. I will find community there. Like, I will make my new home there, right? It will be better than I expect. And keep affirming that, right? Because there's bad and good everywhere, Or, I mean, I don't really like those terms because they're so, not everything is so black and white, you know? But there is like nuance of energies everywhere. It's just sort of like you have to focus on the energy that you want to attract. And also, if you're like in this mindset of like, oh, I'm going to go to this place and everyone's going to judge me. And then you sit there and you're like looking around at everybody with like, oh, who's judging me? Who's judging me? You're like, you're literally judging everybody first because you're like anticipating that they are going to like you don't need to be hyper vigilant. It's sort of like if you're hyper vigilant, you're gonna find what you're looking for, type of thing. Um, but if you are like tuned into the frequency of love and you're more focused on like, oh, you know, like you are giving love. A way to like combat that is like, if you're in public and stuff like that, instead of like looking around being like, oh, who's judging me here? You can be like, oh, I really like that person's bag, or like, oh, that person's hair is really cute, or like, oh, that shop is so adorable. Like, instead of being like, oh, I can't afford to go in there, you should be like, oh, that's a really cute aesthetic. Like, you know, let me like write down the name of that store to come back to later. Like, you just have to change your mindset. Um, so that there is no place for fear to take root there. You just have to make your mind, your vessel, your spirit an inhospitable place for fear and lower vibrations. Because anything can be transmuted into a positive, but also anything can be transmuted into a negative. Like, say if you fell in love, obviously you can just despair and be like, oh, my life is over, I can't believe this happened, this person has so much control over me and my emotions, I hate this, this is the worst, this is just gonna like go terribly and my heart's gonna get broken. Or you can be like, oh my god, this is so beautiful, falling in love is such a beautiful process, like I love getting to know this person, and like it's such an incredible thing to be able to like, I don't know, feel into the nuances of somebody and synchronize emotions with them, and like it's sort of like a beautiful cosmic dance of falling in love. How poetic, So try to get into the mindset of like flipping everything around into a positive, and if there's some like sort of fear about like if you're like literally scared, just keep telling yourself, you're like, yes, there's a possibility that something bad could happen, but it's not. Like, just keep telling yourself that, I am safe. Everything's going to go perfectly well. It's going to go easier than I expect. That's always good, because then, you can never put a cap or a limit on how good things can be if you're always like, oh, it's going to go better than I expect. It's going better than I expect. And just keep saying it over and over and over again. And I get that, like, at some point you may not actually believe that, but just keep saying it, and then the universe will keep showing you in little ways that that's true until you actually, like, believe it.